All right, number 30. Solve the problem, and we're told that a lumber yard has fixed costs of $2,758.80 per day and variable costs of 78 cents per board foot produced. Lumber sells for $1.88 per board foot. How many board feet must be produced and sold daily to break even? All right, so let's talk then about the break-even point. And you'll recall from class that the break-even point is simply the cost function C of x set equal to the revenue function R of x. And the cost function, which I have down here, is equal to mx plus b. So C of x equals mx plus b. And in this particular case, our m will represent the cost to produce each board foot. The x will represent the number of board feet we have to produce, and then b will represent the fixed costs that this particular lumber yard has. Our revenue function is going to be equal to R of x equals p times x, where p is the price per board foot sold. So how much is this particular lumber yard charging for every board foot that they sell? And then x represents the number of board feet that they have to sell. Now notice that here in the cost function and the revenue function, x I have represented as blue because this x is going to be the same number. So that's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find how many board feet do we have to produce and how many do we need to sell in order to break even. Break even meaning this particular lumber yard isn't making any money, but they're also not losing any money. They're breaking even. So now that we know what our cost function and revenue function are, we know what the break-even point is, let's go back to our word problem here and see if we can start filling in and discovering what the cost function is, what the revenue function is, and then we're going to set those two things equal to each other. So let's read the problem one more time and see what we can find. So we're told that a lumber yard has fixed costs of $2,758.80 per day. Notice here in the cost function, C of x equals mx plus b. The b represents our fixed cost, and we know from the problem now that the fixed costs are $2,000, and I made this box a little small, sorry, $2,758.80 per day. All right, fair enough. And variable costs of 78 cents per board foot produced. So variable cost of 78 cents per board foot produced. Well, another way of saying variable costs of each board foot produced is the cost to produce each board foot. So the 78 cents will represent the m from our cost function. So the cost to produce each board foot is 78 cents. And now the x, like we talked about on the previous page, we're trying to find out what the x is. So we don't know what that is, so let's let x represent what we're trying to solve for. All right, let's keep reading and see what else we have. Lumber sells for $1.88 per board foot. All right, well, if we go down to our revenue function, R of x equals P of x, the P represents the price per board foot sold, and they just told us that lumber sells for $1.88 per board foot. So $1.88 per board foot. And now how many board feet do we need to produce and sell daily to break even? Well, again, R of x equals P of x. The x is what we're trying to solve for, so we'll let x just be x. All right, so now we have our cost function represented here. C of x equals 0.78x plus 2,758.80. And then we have our revenue function, R of x equals 1.88 times x. We know that we now need to set these two things equal to each other so that we can solve for x. So let's go ahead and do that then. So we'll have 0.78x plus 2,758.80 equals 1.88x. All right, and again, this left side of the equal sign here is our cost function. The right-hand side here is our revenue function, and now we can go ahead and start solving. So let's go ahead and get the x's on one side of the equal sign. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 0.78x from both sides. And I'm gonna bring this up here. So that'll leave us with 2758.8 equals 1.1x. And if we want to solve for x, we can divide by 1.1 on both sides. And that'll leave us with x equals 2,508. So this is the number of board feet, and we can go ahead and put that in, board feet, that we have to produce and sell daily in order to break even. All right, if we sell less than this, then our company, our lumberyard, is going to be losing money. If we sell more than this, we will be making money, but in order for us to simply break even, meaning our costs equal our revenue, we have to sell and produce 2,508 board feet per day.